Hi everybody, Peter Vogt, the Introvert Advocate, and today's video is about your right as an introvert to share or not share as you see fit. It actually comes once again from this document that I put together called the Introvert's Bill of Rights. The rights you have as an introvert in this extroverted society of ours. It's just a compilation of the things to keep in mind as you go about your day-to-day life as an introvert. And this right is number 7 on the 10 of the 10 on the Introvert's Bill of Rights. Let me just read it to you first, and then we'll briefly talk about it. Here's what it says. It says, I have the right to share what I want, when I want, how I want, to decide for myself without pressure or judgment what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. My thoughts, feelings, and expressions are mine first, and last if I so choose. This particular right, which is closely related to, by the way, to the previous one, I have the right to be heard. You can check that video out as well. This has to do with the idea that sometimes when you're an introvert, when you're told you don't speak enough or you're not expressive enough, there's some sort of bar that you're supposed to meet, and it very often is also confined to speaking, as if that's the only way to express yourself is through the spoken word. So let me just break this down into its 3 different pieces, and we can dispel those particular myths. First of all, I have the right to share what I want. All that means, once again, is that, first of all, you don't have to share anything if you don't want to. You get to pick what parts of yourself you share, what things you have to say or don't say. All of that is your choice and not somebody else's, and not some sort of arbitrary standard that you need to meet. The same is true for you have the right to share when you want. Now, I don't mean the time of day necessarily, like, well, I only share between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the conditions under which you are generally more prone to want to share things. For example, when you're in a one-on-one situation and it's quite quiet and peaceful, you're more apt to want to share in that situation. Whereas if you're in a giant bar situation, which is super noisy, you can't hear yourself think, you can't hear the other person at all, well, in that situation, you might not want to share. And that is, again, that's your right. You get to pick when you want to share. And finally, this is a big one, how. You have the right to share how you want. Again, our extroverted culture in Western society in particular defaults to the spoken word as though that's the only true way to express yourself. And obviously it is. I'm doing it right now. That's one way to express yourself, I should say, not the only one. But it is definitely not the only one. And if you're an introvert in particular, you may very well want to express yourself more with your fingers, with the written word. Excuse me, I dropped my paper. With the written word, you might like to put together emails instead of talking. You might, like I do, write lots of articles or blog posts instead of talking, or on top of talking, in addition to talking. The point being that there's all sorts of ways to express yourself besides the spoken word. And that it's actually, it goes beyond the written word too. You might express yourself best by playing music or being on stage, as so many introverts are. They get on stage and they become different people for a while, and they love it. My dad, who was the introvert's introvert, he didn't talk very much. He sure didn't write very much either, but the way that he expressed himself the most was with his hands, with the things that he built. Right in our living room at home, as we speak, there's a giant there's a giant sort of display rack of plants that my wife has, and it sits on top of the very coffee table that my dad made with his own two hands probably 40 or 50 years ago now when I was a kid. So there's all sorts of ways to express yourself in terms of the how as well. So let me recap this by just reiterating once again that you have the right to share what you want, when you want, how you want. To decide for yourself without pressure or judgment what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Your thoughts, feelings, and expressions are yours first and last if you so choose. You get to pick how you express yourself. You get to pick what to say, what to express or not to express, as the case may be. And you get to pick the way that you do it. And it's just that simple. And sometimes we need that reminder, and again, in this extroverted culture of ours. Again, all of this comes from the Introvert's Bill of Rights, this document that I've put together. You can get a free version or a poster version on my website at introvertinsights.com. So if you're interested, be sure to check that out. In the meantime, thanks for watching this video as always. If you find it helpful, please share it with other people in your life. And if you're interested in these videos that I make a couple times a week, you can just keep in mind that you can subscribe to them on both YouTube and on Instagram. So once again, keep that in mind for the coming days of this week and in the rest of your life. Keep that right to share what you want, when you want, and how you want in mind. And in the meantime, if you'd like to learn more about what I do with introverts and introversion, as always, once again, just visit my website, check things out at introvertinsights.com. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.